So last day of the week speaking about caffeine, and next week I'll be having a look at sugar. So I'm really having a look at habits this month, being as it's January. Monday, sugar. This is the last day of caffeine, and it's probably not something that people would think as a substance that would contribute to weight gain or perhaps even disruption of blood sugar. But that's exactly how it raises energy, although it doesn't, in fact, because if you were to go into a bank and ask for a loan, and then you signed up for it at a rate of 75% interest, you would probably lose interest in it very rapidly because of the rate at which you were paying on the loan. And it's a little bit like that with caffeine. That is the detriment that you get by taking it in as an energy grabber. Now, what happens is, of course, that caffeine causes the release of cortisol and adrenaline from your adrenal glands. And adrenaline is a short rush because it's for the fight and flight response, but cortisol actually stays in the bloodstream a lot longer, and both of them raise your blood sugar, and that's where you get that feeling of, oh right, yes, I'm up and going now, if you've taken a coffee or a tea in the morning, and it's sort of like, right, okay, adrenals, give me some energy now, and off you go. And the difficulty is that we don't really have a fight and flight life anymore in the same way. We don't have any dinosaurs to fight. We don't have any dinosaurs to flee from. We're generally sitting at a desk like I am now, and that sugar and fat does not get used. Now, what I'd like you to think about with this picture here is becoming apple-shaped, because that is exactly what happens, and I'll explain why. So how does caffeine contribute to that apple weight gain around the middle? Well, when you have excess cortisol, unfortunately it blocks progesterone, and progesterone is a big helper to thyroid, and thyroid of course manages your metabolism, and unfortunately with cortisol that weight gathers around your middle and you literally become apple shaped. So drinking caffeine, for a lot more reasons than that actually, is one of the reasons why we can hold on to weight that we really could do to get rid of. So also, as that sugar and fat that's being dumped into the bloodstream is going unused because we're still sitting around and, involved in more external stress as well, that I might have mentioned earlier on in the week, you can imagine that your blood sugar is going to be all over the place, very up, very down, and that is going to contribute to, when it's too high, you feeling quite hyper and maybe a bit overdone. And then when it drops, because you've stored that away with insulin production, and unfortunately our cells become less responsive to insulin the more this cycle happens, and then we drop too low the blood sugar and we feel really fatigued. And of course the fat itself is clogging the arteries. So next week I'm going to take a look at sugar, looking at habits this month, and be glad if you want to have a listen in on that. Have a lovely weekend.